Satan loves you when you do this. Have you ever wondered what makes Satan smile? It's not what you think, and it might just be the very thing you did today. Because when you slip into those dark habits, when you let your guard down and embrace the shadows, you're doing exactly what he wants. And it's not just the big sins that make him happy. Oh no. It's the little things, the ones you justify to yourself, that bring him the most joy. But why? Why does he revel in those moments when you think no one is watching? Imagine this. You're standing at a crossroads, a choice to be made. It's a simple decision, really, something so small it almost seems insignificant. But what if I told you that choice is the one thing Satan is counting on? He's waiting, watching, hoping you'll take that step in the wrong direction, because every time you do, it's like you're handing him the keys to your soul, one little sin at a time. Now you might be thinking, what harm could this possibly do? After all, it's not like you're out there committing atrocities, right? But that's the trick. That's the very deception that pulls you in. Satan isn't always looking for the big moves. Sometimes all it takes is a tiny shift in your path, just enough to lead you away from what's right. And once you're off track, even by a little, he knows he's got you. It all starts so innocently, doesn't it? A harmless lie to get out of trouble, a quick glance at something you know you shouldn't be looking at, a fleeting thought of envy when you see someone else's success. These are the moments when Satan whispers in your ear, convincing you that it's no big deal. But each time you give in, he tightens his grip, pulling you deeper into his web. You may not even notice it at first. It feels like you're still in control, like you can stop whenever you want. But can you? Think back to the last time you did something you knew was wrong. Remember how easy it was to justify it in the moment. You told yourself it wasn't that bad, that you'd make up for it later. But did you? Or did you just keep going, finding more and more excuses to keep doing it? That's how it happens. That's how you lose yourself, one small step at a time. Picture this. A man is walking through a forest. The path is clear and straight, but he sees a shortcut through the trees. It looks faster, easier, and he's in a hurry. So he steps off the path just for a moment. But the trees are thicker than he thought, the ground uneven. He stumbles but keeps going, thinking he'll find his way back to the main path soon. But the deeper he goes, the darker it gets. He loses his bearings. The path is gone, and he's lost, surrounded by shadows. That's what it's like when you let Satan guide your choices. You step off the path, thinking it's just a shortcut, but before you know it, you're lost, and finding your way back isn't as easy as you thought. You try to remember where you went wrong, but it's all a blur. Every decision you made seemed so small, so insignificant, but now they've added up to something much bigger, something that's pulling you deeper into the darkness. But why does Satan care about these little things? Why does he put so much effort into leading you astray, one small step at a time? Because he knows that's all it takes. He knows that once he has you questioning yourself, once he has you doubting what's right, it's only a matter of time before you fall completely. And when you do, he'll be there, ready to take what's his. Now you might be wondering if it's too late. Maybe you've already taken those steps off the path. Maybe you've already started down that dark road. But here's the thing, it's never too late to turn back. No matter how far you've gone, no matter how deep you are in the darkness, there's always a way out. But it won't be easy. It'll take everything you've got to fight your way back to the light. But you can do it, you have to, because if you don't, you'll be giving Satan exactly what he wants. And trust me, you don't want to give him that satisfaction, because once he has you, once you're fully under his control, he won't let go. He'll keep you in the darkness, feeding off your fear, your doubt, your pain. He'll make you believe that you're too far gone, that there's no hope left. But that's the biggest lie of all. There is hope. There's always hope. But you have to fight for it. So what can you do? How do you break free from the hold Satan has on you? The first step is recognizing the lies. You have to see them for what they are, traps designed to keep you from the truth. And once you see them, you can start to resist them. It won't be easy. The lies are seductive, tempting. They make you feel good in the moment, but that feeling doesn't last. It never does. And when it fades, all you're left with is regret, shame, and a deepening sense of loss. But there's a way out. There's always a way out. It starts with making the right choices, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. It means standing up to those whispers, those temptations, and saying, no more. It means finding your way back to the path, one step at a time. And it means never giving up, no matter how many times you stumble, no matter how many times you fall. Because here's the truth. Satan only has as much power as you give him. He can't force you to do anything. He can't make you sin. All he can do is tempt you, try to persuade you, try to lead you down that dark path. But in the end, the choice is always yours. You have the power to say no, to turn away, to choose the light over the darkness. And when you do, when you take that stand, you take away his power. You break his hold over you, and that's the last thing he wants. So, the next time you find yourself at that crossroads, remember this. Satan loves you when you do his bidding, but you don't have to give him that satisfaction. You don't have to let him win. You can choose the light. You can choose the truth. And when you do, you'll find that the darkness isn't as strong as it seems. It can't hold you if you don't let it. It can't consume you if you fight back. And in the end, that's what it all comes down to. The fight. The fight for your soul, for your future, for your very life. It's a fight that never ends, a battle you have to face every day. But it's a fight you can win. You have the strength, the power, the will to overcome the darkness, to break free from Satan's grip, and to live in the light. But you have to choose it. You have to want it. And you have to fight for it with everything you've got. Because here's the thing, Satan may love you when you sin, but he hates it when you resist. He hates it when you stand up to him, when you choose the light over the darkness. It's the one thing he can't stand, the one thing that weakens him, that diminishes his power. So, make the choice. Stand up, fight back, and never ever give him what he wants. Because the moment you do, the moment you give in, you lose. And that's a price too high to pay. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep walking down that dark path, giving Satan exactly what he wants? Or are you going to turn around, find your way back to the light, and take back control of your life? The choice is yours. But remember this, every choice you make, every step you take, brings you closer to one side or the other. So choose wisely, choose the light, choose life, and don't let Satan win. Because in the end, it's not about the big sins, the obvious wrongs. It's about the little things, the small choices that add up to something much bigger. It's about staying on the path, even when it's hard, even when it seems easier to take the shortcut. It's about fighting for what's right, even when it feels like you're all alone. Because you're not alone. You're never alone. And as long as you keep fighting, as long as you keep choosing the light, you'll never have to face the darkness on your own. So keep going, keep fighting, and never ever give Satan what he wants. Because when you do, you give up everything. But when you resist, when you fight back, you gain everything. You gain your freedom, your strength, your soul. And that's worth more than anything the darkness could ever offer. So choose the light. Choose life, and never, ever let go. You see, every time you turn a blind eye, every time you think that small transgression doesn't matter, you're feeding a fire. It starts as a flicker, a tiny flame that's easy to ignore. But as you continue, it grows, fed by your choices, by the small compromises you make. And that's exactly what Satan wants. He wants you to think that these little things don't matter, that they're too insignificant to have any real impact. But they do, they always do. Think about how many times you've said, just this once, or it's not that bad. How many times have you let yourself off the hook, thinking you'll do better next time? But here's the truth. There's no next time when it comes to your soul. Every choice you make has a consequence, a ripple effect that you can't always see right away. But over time, those ripples turn into waves, and before you know it, you're drowning. So make the choice, stand up, fight back, and never ever give Satan what he wants. Because when you do, you don't just save yourself, you save everyone around you. You become a beacon of hope, a source of strength, a light in the darkness. And that's something Satan can never take away from you.